y'all. It's another Gettin Real with Ashleydawn. I'm Ashleydawn. Fun story. I just taped this and it wasn't even recording. That's hilarious. But when do you know when it's time to stop? When it's time to stop dating somebody, when it's time to stop being friends with somebody, when it's time to stop working at a job. And I would say when you are exhausted, when your soul is completely exhausted and you have no more left to give, when you realize that you're pouring out into a friendship and they're not pouring into you, where it's completely one-sided and you're just doing stuff all the time and they're not doing anything for you, or you're in a relationship with somebody, or maybe you're dating somebody and you're like swimming in a sea of red flags, searching for the green one, like searching for the good amidst the sea of bad. Like, there's your sign. You shouldn't be dating that person. They don't deserve you. Like, when you're doing more for the relationship than they are, when you're planning dates, when you're buying tickets, when you're scheduling different things, when you're thinking of sweet things to do for them and they're not thinking of nothing to do for you, there's your sign. You shouldn't be dating that person. When you have to tell somebody to treat you good, you shouldn't be dating them. When you have to tell somebody to put down their phone in your presence and focus on you, you shouldn't be dating them. When you have to tell them to put down the phone, or to stop texting while they're driving, or to stop watching a movie while they're driving and focus on you and protecting you, that's when you need to stop dating them. When somebody disrespects you in front of them and they don't do anything to protect your honor or to show you that they're taking care of you, that's when you need to stop dating them. Not every person that shows interest in you is worthy of your time or is worthy of a date with you. I was just talking to my mom, Donna, and John and Raven, and they were just saying, like, Ashleydawn, you say yes to so many things and you're so caring and you do so much for so many people. Who's doing something for you? Like, you're constantly doing things and you're constantly going places, and most of the time you're doing it for somebody else. You're not even doing it for yourself. Like, who's doing stuff for you? And it made me think, like, oh, you're right. Like, I do so much for so many different people and very few people do stuff for me. And we were talking about the different guys that I've dated in different seasons of my life, and they're just saying, like, you kind of date losers. And, they have very few good qualities, but overall, like, yeah, they're not wrong. Like, they kind of have been losers. They kind of haven't treated me the way that I've deserved to be treated. And the thing is, I've allowed it. I've allowed the bare minimum. And that's not on the guy, because, the guy's like, hey, this is cool. I ain't even got to do nothing. Like, she's doing everything. She's planning the dates. She's, spoiling me. She's cooking me dinner. She's taking me out to football games or to concerts, or, she's taking care of, dated a couple guys with kids. Like, she's taking care of my kids. Like, I've done everything. And it's not, like, their fault. I've allowed it. I've allowed that bare minimum. And just getting older, and I'm kind of getting sick and tired of putting up with, like, really poor treatment. And my neighbors are helping me, my mom's helping me, my friends are helping me just realize, like, Ashleydawn, you have a lot to offer. And the bare minimum isn't good enough for you. Like, if somebody doesn't want to go out of their way to do nice things for you, like, that's a problem. If you have to tell somebody to get off their phone and pay attention to you, that's a problem. If you have to tell somebody to put their phone down when they're around you, or to stop texting while they're driving and they could, like, put your life in danger, that's a problem. If you have to tell somebody to plan something or tell someone to do something nice for you, again, that's a problem. The person that I believe you're meant to be with should, like, want to do stuff for you without you asking, should want to help you, should want to constantly put a smile on your face. And if they don't, well, then you should stop dating them. You should stop seeing them. If you have a friend and you're just always doing everything, you're always planning the girls' nights, you're always planning the vacations, you're just constantly doing everything, you're doing too much. There's a saying me and my friend Kiara say, and it's like, you're doing the most. You're doing the most. What does that mean? That means that you're doing everything and the people in your life aren't doing anything. So when you get to that point, when you get completely burnt out and tired and exhausted and your soul just needs rest and you're just like, okay, like, enough is enough, kind of don't want to deal with this anymore, then you'll realize, okay, I deserve to be treated better. I deserve, to have somebody that's going to be pouring into me as much as I'm pouring into them. My mom tells me all the time, she's like, Ashleydawn, you say yes too much. Just say no. Just tell people no. And I'm getting to the point, and I don't know if it's like, the other night I was like, am I jaded? Have I been so hurt and so taken advantage of that I'm like becoming jaded to the world, or like becoming cold? Like, I never want to be cold. I always want to be warm, and I always want to be loving and sunshiny, and I always want to be happy. But if I'm being real, like, a lot of people have really hurt me, and a lot of times the good people get taken advantage of and they get mistreated. And unfortunately, sometimes when the good people keep getting taken advantage of and keep being mistreated, the good people get like hardened, and their hearts get hardened, and they don't do such nice things anymore. And I've always really like reminded myself, like, Ashleydawn, don't let the world around you change you. Like, why do boats sink? Boats sink because the water around them gets inside of them. And I always try to remind myself, like, don't let the water around you get inside of you, or it'll sink your happiness. It'll sink your ship. Like, make sure that what's going on around you isn't affecting your heart and isn't affecting your soul. But it's really hard because sometimes, like, people are really mean, and people take advantage of you, and people lie, and people use you, and it's not cool. I was watching the movie Cruella, and I know it got like a lot of mixed reviews, but it was on my Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, let me see what it's about. And like, it gives you a spin on the story, because obviously in the 101 Dalmatians movie, like, Cruella's super bad, and she wants to steal the Dalmatians, and this movie has a little different like spin on it. And it basically is saying, like, Cruella, her mom was killed when she was a little girl, and so it just made her hard, and she kind of was raised on the streets. And like, sadly, that's a lot of people's story. They grow up without a parent, and it makes them hard. And or somebody grows up and they're sweet, and they're nice and caring and sunshiny, and they're always looking for the good in others, and then people take advantage of that. And like, I've been there, I'm kind of there right now, and it stinks when people take advantage of you. It stinks when people are constantly seeing the good in you and then wanting to like take it for themselves, and wanting to benefit off of like your kindness. And like, there's a lot of people in my life, when I meet them and they find out who I am, or they find out what I do, and they're like, oh, and then they invite me to their event because they want me to market it, or they want me to do free promotion for them. And I'm like, actually, I have bills that need to be paid. Like, you can pay me for that. Or, somebody will invite me to a kid's party, and they'll be like, can you bring your paint so you can paint faces? Or can you bring this so you can do this? Or can you bring your markers so you can do calligraphy? And I'm like, so basically you want me to work for free. You're not inviting me to that thing because you want me to be there. You want me to work for free. And I'm not saying everybody is like that, but there are a lot of people like that. And so, you can pray for discernment, and you can pray like, God, help me to see the people that just want to take advantage of me and use me, and help me to see the ones that are actually genuine and just want to like bless me and just want to help me. Like, I've realized there are a lot of people in my life that see like the light within me, and they want to touch it, but they don't want to protect it. And it's kind of like when you're in like there's a spotlight somewhere. Like, everybody wants to be in the spotlight, but nobody wants to hold the spotlight. Like, the spotlight has to be held by somebody, and it has to be turned and moved. And nobody wants to hold the spotlight, but everybody wants to be in the spotlight. Does that make sense? Like, sometimes there's going to be people in your life that don't necessarily want to hold the spotlight for you. They just want to be in your spotlight. They just want to be in whatever you're doing. They don't want to help you get there. They don't want to do what it takes for you to get there. They just want to be in it with you. And I'm just realizing, like, I was talking to my friend Jenny while we were like messaging back and forth on Facebook, and I had posted my last Gettin Real, and she had said, the older you get, the more you'll realize the smaller your circle gets. And she was basically saying, like, the smaller your circle gets, because you realize who is really honest and who is authentic and who really cares about you, and then who just really only cares about themselves. And at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. When a person cares more about themselves than they do of you, they're going to see you as an asset to their portfolio instead of a friend. They're going to see you as a bargaining tool in their event. They're going to see you as, oh, if Ashleydawn's there, my event will be more fun. If Ashleydawn's there, she'll promote it on all her social media pages, instead of, hey, I want Ashleydawn to be there because I really love her. And you'll start to see different people like don't necessarily want you for you, but they want you for what you can offer. I have a friend named Spencer, and he's a photographer, and he, is always invited to a lot of events, and people just want to take him for his pictures. They just want they just want to use him for his camera. And then, they don't invite him just to be somewhere unless he's going to take pictures of it. And I tell him all the time, like, if somebody invites you somewhere, just go and don't bring your camera. And then when they see that your camera's not there, like, then you'll realize that they were using you. And he's a lot younger than me. So obviously, like, I have a little bit more wisdom in that area because I've been in that place. I've done photography, and people have invited me to conferences, and people have invited me to birthday parties and different things, and that they've just wanted me to take pictures for them. And it really stinks when you think like you have expectations for a friendship and you think that you're really friends with somebody, and then you realize that you never really were to begin with. You think that somebody really, really cares about you, and then you realize they didn't really care about you. They just cared about what you could give them or what you could do for them. Like, that really stinks. And so you're probably listening to this video like, Ashleydawn, this Gettin Real is not very encouraging, and it's not very inspiring. It's kind of sad. Like, yeah, sometimes life is sad. Sometimes things are done to you that are not fun, and it's not nice. I want to encourage you that regardless of the way people treat you, don't ever treat somebody the way that they're treating you. Always treat them better. And there's memes and, match their energy. Well, if their energy is evil, don't match that. In the movie Cruella, there's a little part in it where she kind of turns into her enemy because she's just so hardened and so hurt that she turns into the person that was hurting her. And while I was watching it, I was just like, God, please don't ever let me turn into the people that have hurt me. Don't ever let me turn into those people that have taken me for granted, or that have used me, or that have betrayed me. Like, please don't ever let me, let the pain in my life change me into the people that put that pain in my life. Like, let me never get mad. Like, okay, somebody flips you off in traffic, like, I'm not the type of person that's going to flip somebody off back. But a lot of people are. Like, somebody flips them off in traffic and then they flip them off back. Like, don't do what other people are doing to you. Rise above that and say, you know what? You are not very nice, and I don't really like that, and you're not making good choices. But just because you're not making good choices doesn't mean that you're going to encourage me to make bad choices. I'm still going to make good choices regardless of the choices that you're making. And I know I just said choices a lot. But I just want us to be kind and positive and show love, and not be just mean and hateful people just because people have been like that to us. Good night. This traffic situation is insane. This guy is yelling behind me. Oh my gosh. But just because people are doing shady stuff doesn't mean you should do shady stuff to them. You know what I mean? Treat others better than they're treating you. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. Never let somebody mistreat you or make you feel less than, and never lash out and try to do to them what they're doing to you, or try to get revenge, or try to match their energy or meet them at their level. If they're treating you badly, just excuse yourself from the situation and don't treat them at all. Just be like, you know what? I realize I deserve better, and I'm not going to be here anymore. There was a TikTok the other night, and it was when somebody treats you badly, maybe it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend and they're not treating you good, don't date them anymore. Allow that to make you less interested. and somebody says, are you mad? No, I'm not mad. I'm less interested. Like, I'm not interested in the bare minimum at all. Like, no. If I don't give the bare minimum, I don't want the bare minimum. So my encouragement, I know it's hard to find encouragement in this like Debbie Downer of a video, but sometimes you need the truth and love, and sometimes you need somebody to tell you, hey, that person doesn't mean you good. They're taking advantage of you. They're using you. For me today, that was my mom and Donna and John and Raven. Just to remind me, like, you deserve better, and you're kind of accepting the bare minimum, and you're kind of doing everything for everyone. Like, you're not a charity case. Like, you don't have to do everything for everyone. Sometimes it's okay if people do things for you, and they should want to do things for you because you're such a nice person and you do so much for others. So that's my encouragement. Still be the awesome, wonderful person that you are, but realize not everybody has a heart like yours, and sometimes people will try to use you. You let them use you if you continue to allow them to treat you that kind of way. Stand up for yourself and just be like, you know what? I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the way that you're treating me. I'm not interested in doing all the work. I'm not interested in being the #1 planner and constantly getting the tickets and constantly planning the dates or constantly planning the events, or, we can share this benefit, or we can share the responsibility. So I just want to encourage you, still be a good person. Don't let the world around you change you or make you, negative or into a bad person just because there's some bad stuff kind of happening around you. Still shine, still be a little ray of sunshine, and don't allow the water around you to sink the ship within you. Yeah. Sometimes people will try to take advantage of you. Just realize that they see something in you and they want to take it for themselves. Sometimes people want to touch your light, but they don't want to protect it. Stay close to the ones that want to protect your light. Stay close to the ones that want to hold the spotlight for you, that don't always want to be in your spotlight, but that are like, hey, let me hold the spotlight for you. Let me brag about you for a minute. Let me say nice things on your behalf to others. Yeah. I just saw a beautiful mural that was painted, and some punk graffitied over it. Like, that ties into this message amazingly, because you can do something beautiful, like paint a beautiful mural on the side of a building, and some jerk can come over and ruin it and put their tag name on it, right? Don't let that change how beautiful you are. There's some ugly people in the world. That are doing some ugly things, but don't let that make you ugly. Keep being beautiful, keep being kind, keep being loving, keep being who you were created to be. I love you. More importantly, God loves you. You are seen, you are celebrated, and you are loved, not for the things that you do or what you can give to somebody or how beneficial it is to have you in somebody's life, but just for who you are, for who God created you to be. If you do nothing today, God still loves you. If you've accomplished nothing today, if you've just sat on the couch, if you've just cried all day, God loves you. There's a line in one of my favorite songs. It's called Jireh by Maverick City and Brandon Lake and Elevation Worship. And it's called Jireh, and it says, I don't have to earn a trophy. I don't have to give you a trophy to earn your love or to make you proud. All I have to be is me. I don't have to, I'm not holding you up, so I'll never let you down. Like, God doesn't want us to be perfect. He just wants us to be us. And He loves us just as we are. Sometimes people don't love us as we are. They love us with this added to it. God doesn't ask for anything to be added to us. He comes and adds to us. He comes and brings the spotlight, and He allows us to be in the spotlight, and He holds the spotlight for us. So I just want to encourage you with that. I just want to let you know that God sees you. God loves you. You are enough. You are seen. You are celebrated. You are loved. God has beautiful things in store for you. I'm sorry that
those people have taken advantage of you. I'm sorry that those people have given you the bare minimum. You don't deserve the bare minimum. You deserve the absolute maximum. And God gives you the absolute maximum. He gives you all of his love. And that is the biggest blessing that we could ever have. So I love you. God loves you. You're seen, you're celebrated, you're loved. I've said that like 3 times now, but hopefully the more I say it, the more you will allow that to sink into your heart. God's got big plans for you. He's got good plans for you. And I just hope you know how special you are. I'll catch you in the next one.